Are we live? Hey, everybody, what's going on? Is Justin here. Welcome to Talking to this great show, co hosted by myself and Joanne Fuller. We have a great show for you in today. We have one of Detroit's kings that's going to be joining us in shortly today to talk about some things that's going on with here in the city as it relates to violence, gun violence, and different things like that. But first, I want to, before we go further on the show, I want to bring in the visionary of this show, this great man, none other than Rufus Beal himself. Rufus, what's going on?
What's going on, Justin? I was gonna let you talk some more.
I can keep on talking. I can keep on talking. How are you today?
I'm great, man. How you doing today?
Hey man, I cannot complain. It's been a busy weekend. The Grand Prix, all of those who don't know, has been going on. Today was the final day, and so we've been out at the Grand Prix. I've been at the Grand Prix working. Um, it's just doing that. So that's finally come to an end. I'm happy. That's been an end. It's been a long 3 days. Long 3 days. Have you did you get a chance to come out to the Grand Prix?
Well, you know what? I was trying to get ready to come out and get over there and see what was going on. A friend of mine was working over there, but I
Okay.
did not make it. But
Okay.
I saw all the high energy and everything that was going on in the city surrounding the Grand Prix. So I could feel the energy. I just couldn't see the energy.
Yeah, I think that quite honestly, if I wasn't working the event, then I wouldn't have come. I'm
Hmm.
really not into racing or race cars and different things like that. However, I think it's important sometimes that I'm seeing that we step outside the box. We
Yes, it
step
is.
outside the box from the things that we like because we really don't know what we like. Um, if if we don't try, if
You're
we don't
right.
try something new, if we don't try something new. But let's bring in our other co-host, the jewel of this show, most
Ah,
definitely the jewel, the diamond, none other than Mrs. Joanne Fuller.
Hello,
Hey,
hello, hello, everybody.
hello,
hey,
Joanne.
how
Hi,
you doing?
Justin. It's so good to
What's up?
see
I know. I missed y'all. I missed y'all dearly. Missed y'all dearly.
you. I'm telling you. Oh my
How you doing
goodness.
today?
I'm doing great. I'm actually in Huntsville, Alabama.
Alabama.
Ah,
Alabama. Yeah, yes,
So
at my cousin's wedding.
okay, so
Yep.
I'm a traveler, Joanne. I've been a lot of places, but I tell you, I've never been to Alabama. Never been to
Never?
Alabama.
Oh my
No. What
goodness.
what what am I missing? What's in Alabama? What do I need to get
It's in
get down there
Alabama.
and see? What's in
Ooh,
Alabama?
well, you got Selma, Alabama. You have Montgomery, Alabama. You
Mm-hmm.
have all these HBCUs down here. You have
Okay.
Oakwood University.
Okay.
You got University of Alabama. Then you have Tuskegee University.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot to see down here. It's a lot. It's a lot of history down here. A lot of history.
Okay. Okay.
My husband and my
Okay. Cool.
son went to Oakwood University down here, which is a HBCU. So that's their
Ah.
alumnus of Oakwood. Yeah,
Okay.
but it's
Okay.
so much
Okay.
to see and do, and
Okay.
it's hot. It's
It's
is it
hot.
hot.
hot?
It
It's
looked like
hot.
it looked like Rufus got on a perfect hat to defeat the sun today. I see. You got on there. You got the sun defeater on. I see.
Wait, inside the house.
It's oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man.
Well, Joanne, I must say you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
You
I
wearing them
appreciate that.
pearls? Wearing them pearls?
I
Wearing them
know.
pearls? And you got
Justin,
You
I
some
know
thought
what?
you did
We
it
got to
for
point
us.
y'all pearl. We got to. Hey.
got the pearls going on, and do I see some
Oh,
color in your hair? Or you always? I don't think I've seen that color in your hair before.
this usually my summer color. My
Oh,
summer. It's usually a
okay.
little darker in the fall and the winter, but this is
Okay.
me. This is my summer color.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's what's
Yes, it
up.
is.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. It's a lot going in the world today. You guys, I'm sure you guys know that. But what
Yes.
is up with these gas prices though?
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
what in the world? I just drove past 35 for a gallon of gas. Like, I'm speechless as it
Is
relates
that
to gas.
regular?
That's regular. That's
Is
regular.
it?
It's regular. It's regular. Yes, at least in my part of town it is. That is that's just you know what, and I'm no conspiracy theorist, and I feel like I keep saying this is making me a conspiracy theorist. But I would almost venture to say and to believe that these gas prices, a lot to do with it is the push of the electric vehicle.
You got me. I've been saying it.
Yeah.
I've been saying it. I'm
Yes.
telling you. Because
Yep.
guess what?
So, mhm,
I drive a car.
okay.
Okay, so I have a Lincoln car.
Okay.
Oh,
I can't get another Lincoln car. For the
Mm,
only car that Ford has now is the Ford
mhm,
Mustang.
mm,
And
that
they're trying to, because one of my clients works for Ford Finance.
okay.
So he was saying that because he had the electric Mustang. So they're
Okay.
okay.
trying to get, and I'm with you, Justin. I'm telling you, it's a conspiracy theory to push
Yeah.
everybody to electric. But I'd rather have a hybrid than electric.
Yeah, I think I would too. I think I would too. But TikTok and everything. So one thing that made me a believer was this video, this TikToker who he said, I'm gonna show you guys how this works. So he took a road trip. He must live in Chicago. I believe he drove from like Chicago to Atlanta. And he did it and he documented the whole thing. So as it relates to electric vehicle, in the route map that he took to drive there, it showed him where to stop to get the electricity and how long to stop. So
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So he didn't need to stop. Um, he didn't need to stop at every location, or he didn't need to stop for hours at a time. It'd just be like, okay, as you stop here, you're gonna stop here for 30 minutes. Then your next stop may be only 20 minutes. Then your next stop may be only 30 minutes. But if you go by the guide, you'll get there where you won't run out of gas. And every stop is not, oh, I gotta wait for an hour for a battery charge. So in seeing that,
Interesting.
it was like, wow, like,
But
okay,
it's still
maybe
adding
I
on to
can
my
do
road
electric
trip because they
vehicle.
say to a full charge is less than 300 miles to a full charge. If it adds on, because I still have to stop, and is it just, I know they're talking about these high speed charging stations now
Hmm.
where you don't have to, like you said, sit there for an hour or so.
Mhm.
I mean, but and I guess because we used to just pumping the gas, getting our gas,
So
boom, boom.
Go.
I have a Dodge Ram.
So my thing is, I don't know, So
Around
oh, go
340
ahead.
miles per gallon. And on that Tesla, it was the same exact thing. So it was like it
Okay.
wasn't so it really
Really?
wouldn't it, and the charge is free. So it makes you put that into perspective.
Hmm.
So I've said all that to say is that I'm looking at the Chevy Silverado, the electric version, because these gas prices is not
It's
getting too much.
crazy. I
The
still,
the
I
question
still,
though,
I still want my
question is
option. I
gonna
don't
be,
like people telling me what I gotta do. Can I get
Hmm.
I
an
know,
option? I'd rather
yeah,
have a hybrid than. And then what
yeah,
happens with, like we had that blackout? What happens when
Mm.
yeah.
if a
So
blackout
yeah,
happens?
And all of the charging stations are down.
right.
Thank you,
But
Lord.
Wow.
What
I'll
happens?
say most charging stations are energy sufficient to the place of solar panels as well.
Okay.
So you would
Okay.
have to find that is power because you could even buy Teslas with solar powers on them. So the point
Now
so we're
I have seen those.
yeah, so that they're constantly charging. The question is going to become though, how much is it going to cost to install one of those chargers inside your home? and
Thank
what
you.
is your electric bill going to go up to?
Thank you. I mean,
You know,
because it's not free.
um,
You know, you paying at you.
it's
It comes to an expense somewhere, somewhere,
some way somehow
some way, somehow. It's
for
coming
sure.
from somewhere.
Yeah,
It is. So it's not free. I see you
I
talking,
think you're
Rufus.
muted.
Can't hear you.
We can't.
Duh.
There you.
I saw the Ford Mustang, um, electric Ford Mustang,
Mm,
and I don't like it. I don't like the shape of the car. It looked like uh,
mm.
a hatchback Volkswagen.
It
Not that
doesn't
anything is wrong
have.
with that, but it didn't have that like, ooh, look at that over there.
It's not sporty to me. It's
It's
not
not
that
sporty.
Mustang anymore.
It's not sporty. It's
And
not
then
sporty.
they're
That would.
trying to make people go to either, well, they call them crossovers or SUVs. Now I used to have conversion vans. I've
Hmm.
had the SUVs. I've had the crossover. I went to the car purposely. Now I can't get any. Now I can't get a car unless I go to a foreign car. But they all foreign now, really, aren't they?
Right.
But yeah, really. But it's like now they're trying to force people into crossovers and SUVs versus cars because GM is going the same route. They're not doing cars anymore.
Now,
So the
does this eliminate that problem with the chip?
no,
That's part of the
It does.
issue. That's
Oh,
part of the issue.
okay.
they have the car still has to have a brain, and that
Right.
chip is the brain of the car. So that's not gonna go away. But they've just spent so much money in, and they just say how gas pollutes and just all these different things about how it's better for the economy. So there's the government has given all these GM Ford Chrysler, there's giving them big money to
Yes.
Of course.
completely
Yes.
completely electrical by year
Hmm.
2030 or whatever. It may be
Right.
30 or something like that. Like where their whole fleet is nothing but electric vehicles. So that's the push.
Well,
Um,
this is almost like the transition from coal to electric,
yeah,
or coal to gas, I should say.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Coal
Yeah,
to gas.
where
Right.
they made everybody get rid of coal. Now, I tell you this, I would have been very grateful to get rid of having to dig that coal to put it in the burner
But
personally.
but
But I'm sure
I
people were
remember those
comfortable with
days.
that. They knew about it. They were that change. It was something that they probably didn't embrace at first. Very resistant to it, but
Mm.
it'll eventually get to either you have that car or you're walking.
right. But do y'all remember a few years ago too? There was this conversion with regular TV, right? You used to could get regular TV,
Right.
Oh,
and
Yep.
perfect.
got to have a conversion box or
Or
something dumb.
go
Hmm.
buy an antenna, or go buy,
You
and then
got
you
to go
still, if you
buy
bought
something,
the antenna, you still didn't get all the good channels. And
right?
yeah.
And
Now look at us.
that on
Yep.
it. And I
Yes.
think that
Yes.
I think that brings up a very good question, that we can answer real quick. Is
Hmm.
should the government be able to control like consumers, like as far as like should 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 they be able to, because if you're an automotive company, if you're Chrysler and the government says, hey, I'm going to give you $30 million or $100 million to figure out how to build electric cars, you gonna take the money. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But that influences, now you can't buy a car, right?
Right.
So what is that divide? Because I think in some cases we think it's necessary, right? Like when people can't take care of themselves or they can't take care of their kids, and we say, okay, well, the government can come in and can control, you know, what should happen or stuff like that. But then
Hmm.
there's cases like this where we say, well, no, I don't want an electric car. I want a hybrid. Or so where do you guys think that line is? What is that line?
Whether my thing is whether I think it's a line or not, or should be a line or not,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
unless we as the people truly come together and say no, or truly come together and tell these companies, no, this is not what we want, we really have no control.
Mm-hmm.
We really don't, unless we as a people come together. And that's my theory is the government should be afraid of the people,
You would think.
not the people afraid of the government.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the opposite. The government, the people are more afraid of the government than we or those people up there or over
Mm-hmm.
there in DC. But it should be the opposite.
Yeah.
And because we don't rally and speak up like we should on, I'm not saying other issues are not important, but on certain issues, because we don't,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people feel, well, that's what they, and so they know that's what's best. And instead of asking questions and getting out and doing our vote and doing the research and just, we don't do it. And so it's almost like it is what it is. Am I going to say what I need to say? Yes, I am. Am I going to stand what I need to stand? Yes, I am. But I mean, because I am not the masses, I'm gonna have to fall into. So I'm gonna have to fall into getting an SUV or a crossover versus a car. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't, to me, do what we need to do as people, as
Mm-hmm.
the people.
Well, and what I think to add on to what you're saying, most of the time we are doing we will voice and speak among ourselves, but as a people, we won't hold accountable the politicians.
Right.
And when we do things of this nature, then of course this is as if it's saying to the government, okay, we are confirming what you're doing, or we're condoning what you're doing, and therefore go ahead
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and continue to do what you're doing, raise the prices, and then we'll be fine with that. So
Right.
you're right. We have to not just talk about it, but be active physically in terms of making people accountable, making our elected officials accountable.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a tough subject, tough pill to swallow, because when we look at the nature of politics, we know that politicians need money to be elected. I mean, they can't run campaigns without money.
Exactly.
So these corporations and institutions infiltrate these
Hmm.
politics rather, and help them to say, hey, well, I'm going to donate, but in return, you have to support my cause.
Well, usually that's how it works, especially if these companies are part of the political action committees where that they dump in so much money to what they're doing. That's one of the things you can do in in Atlanta, in Alabama, Justin,
Okay,
from John
now.
Arnold, the Nassau. Um, if they're dumping that into political campaigns,
Mhm.
it's the candidates understand what the repercussion is that they do definitely have to support their agenda.
Right.
Right.
and and that's where you get the bad politics. That's where the bad politics come in, because it's like, I'm pretty sure that most politicians try to align whatever the cause they need money to get to support. They try to align it with themselves. I would hope, but that just makes for a dirty game, and that's why stuff is able to slide in and get
That's
in here.
right.
That's why things happen, is because everything is being controlled by money. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. You
And,
pat my pockets, guess what?
yep, yep, yep,
Yep.
yep.
Well, we've
It's
seen
sad,
it,
but it's true.
but it's true. We've seen it happen so many times. In certain situations and other
Hmm.
agendas,
Hmm.
where take for instance when in the city of Detroit when they were trying to get that casino passed,
Right.
um, it was supposed to be, you know, no interruption or injection of
Public funding.
well, not so much public fundings, but from corporations
Right.
to get behind or rally behind the people that wanted to get the casinos, or to be able to pass that to get it on the agenda. So, and like you said, Justin, in most things, and a lot of things, this is the problem that we face.
Yeah.
And how they pushed it. They pushed it by telling people, well, this we're going to be giving so many millions of dollars a year to the public school system.
Yes.
That's how I went through. I would love to go through the books and see where the money really went.
Exactly.
I would love to go through those books. Yeah, they probably gave some money, but I bet you it wasn't what they
said it was.
promised, what they said. And I bet you it still is not, because if you're in the city of Detroit, to me, the Detroit public schools should have most of that money. Then you sprinkle it out, because these casinos are in the city of Detroit.
Of course.
But I want to bet that, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I stand to be corrected, but I don't think I am.
So I
don't think you are either.
I got two more things I want to throw in here really quick to you guys before we go further in the show.
Okay.
So, of note, so we see that Chief Craig was running for governor. He's been denied the opportunity to from now. So in my reading, this is why I have a big issue with news media, because I feel like they make stuff out to not what it be. Now, right. So the article reads that Chief Craig is denied for having fraudulent signatures. Right? So this paints a picture that he went out, or his campaign went out and said, hey, just sign it, or made up people, right? Put dead people on. I don't know. It just paints this picture of fraud when it could actually be people who are just not registered to vote, or it could some other legality issue that's not like, oh, I was out here like really committing fraud. Like I didn't like that.
Yes.
And I think
I think that some people signed because there were names that were on like same names that were on three different ballots, or three different
petitions.
That's ballots, right? That they had to sign.
The petitions.
Signatures. So they think that they found that. So it was more than one thing, though, that they, right?
There were several instances.
Several things.
Yes. Now let's take it to this direction. If I was running and I am the former chief of police of the city of Detroit, I would think that I would make sure that my key people who are out there over the day-to-day in the street operation is functioning at their optimum level. And now there could be some things that we may not know what goes on in terms of what they have to do. And maybe if because they were pushed to the gun, they crossed their fingers and said, let's hope all is well. I don't know. But I do know our guest that'll be coming on shortly will probably be able to give us an inside look to how that part of the campaign is run, and how it checks and balances.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring that up, because I just think that it leaves it open for people to make up in their mind what that is, instead of really spelling out what it was or what happened. So not enough, or what I'm saying? Like, I just think to say the way it reads, I don't really like that. So the second thing was, I know all you are familiar with Monica Conyers. Okay.
Yes.
She had this stance that the Michigan law that was put into place that said that if you're a convicted felon, you cannot run for office. That was put in place after she, had supposedly served her time or got out of jail. So it did not apply to her, and she sought the Court of Appeals, and she was denied. So how you guys think about that? Like, what do you guys think about that?
In terms of her being denied, or
a chance to run? Yes.
A chance to run again?
Right. So her name cannot appear on the ballot or anything.
Well, I will step out and say this. If Monica had not, had not behaved in the manner she did, I don't think she should run again.
Okay.
You know, I don't. I mean, just her actions. Well, before she was caught with her hand in the cookie jar, that was enough to say, really, should she remain in office?
Mm.
Truly,
I don't
truly.
know if you all saw that clip.
We already know who she was.
Right.
You know, when people tell you and show you who they are, you better believe it.
You
Do we
believe
really
it.
believe that she has changed that much, even though she's been quiet, which everybody's surprised that she's been this quiet these past few years, but she showed us who she was. And
Well,
she wasn't so boisterous about who she was and the stuff that she did, you
mhm.
know, because she was like, oh my goodness, she was off the chain.
Mm.
Well,
Off the chain.
did you all see the interview that she did when the little girl that was in school, and she was so shaken on how then City Council Pro Tem Monica Conyers acted with then the president of City Council, Kenneth Cochran, and the little girl said, "You know, we look to you, and we expect more from you." Now, Monica instantly went into Monica mode. She looked at that little girl, and then she gave her a flip answer. And I don't know if somebody told her to cut it, or or
Or
she,
they cut
she
it.
kicked back in and she said, "Let me change my whole approach to this young girl." But I don't know. You know, stranger things have happened. The city of Detroit, we're very forgiving. We believe in second and third chances, and I don't disagree with that. So I mean, you never know. I just wouldn't vote for her personally.
But to me, she would have to come out and show that something has changed.
Okay.
You know, I mean, because it was so bad to the point her husband separated from her as far as political. He didn't want that attachment because it was about to bring him down.
Well, you think she
All
would
the
have to
stuff she
wear?
was doing. So he was like, I'm not deal. That's when they would started asking him questions about her. His thing was, I don't deal with that. I don't deal with her. I know that's her stuff. That's, you know, because it was about to bring him down.
You think
He
she
was
need to
off the
wear a
chain.
habit?
I'm sorry.
Do you think she would need to wear a habit for people to?
I might, you know, I believe it's
And her
I
collar, because
believe
you know
it's
she
to the
is a
second
minister
chance,
as well.
but show me. But there's something that to me, there's something that she needs to be doing. She's needed to be out there doing something to show that I feel like this is still my community. I feel like Detroit, even though I was, you know, whatever back then,
Right.
that's not the same Monica. I've either learned a lesson. I might still have some of the same, you know, mindsets as how Detroit should be or what I want to see Detroit as, but how I handle it should be a little bit different. And I think she has not done that. We have not seen anything except until she wants to get on this ballot. That's it.
I agree. Well, with that, good people, we're going to go over to our special guest today, and he's going to fill us in a little bit about what we were talking about in terms of being out there in the street. I'm sure if he so desires to share his comment about Monica Conyers running, he will if he can, and he has an important announcement that he's going to make to us. But he's no stranger to us or to our listening audience or to the Detroit metropolitan area. He is currently the host of Grown Folk Radio. He and a group of other great broadcasters. He is an entrepreneur. He is a politician. He is a great guy with a sincerity of changing this gun violence and dealing with mental illness. And just as we're thinking today, that there was a situation on the east side of Detroit where an 11-year-old girl was in a sleepover and she was killed by a stray bullet. And without in that there, and welcome back to Talking to Mr. Reggie Reg Davis. Good afternoon.
How you guys doing? What's going on?
What's
We're
good?
Hey,
good.
hey, Hey.
Hey, Joanna and
Yes,
Justin,
sir.
Rufus, how you be? How my people's doing?
Good, good. How you?
We good.
Good, good.
Great.
Trying to make it happen, you know?
That's for
Yes.
sure. So,
So
Reggie Rich Davis, before we talk about some of the subject that we are planning to talk about, can you kind of explain to the listening audience how does that process work when you're out in the street and you're gathering names for to get on a ballot, and how is that checked, or and what are the checks and balances?
Well, for different offices, you have to do different things to get in. I'm currently running for the office of state representative for the new State House District 5. So with that office, we just pay a fee, a $100 fee, and fill the forms out and get our name on the ballot. But there's other seats like U.S. Congress and, if I'm not mistaken, governor and some other particular seats that you have to collect, do a petition, meaning you have to collect signatures, and you have to get a certain amount, and then you want to overdo the number. They say you got to get 1,000. You want to make sure you turn in 2,000. I think is a limit of 2,000 in that particular race. So I think Sam Riddle did. He turned in 3,000 and picked the best of. They took the 2,000 from the 3,000 and what have you. So it's all about having that amount of signatures, and those signatures must be legitimate signatures, meaning those people must live in that particular district that you're running for, and they must be, voters, of a certain age or whatever, and to be able to vote in that particular district. So I think I heard you guys saying something about my dear friend Monica Conyers. She's a wild lady, but I actually love her for that. She's natural. She's not like some people. You don't have to worry about her stabbing you on your back. She's gonna tell it like it is, right? Day one, the second, she's gonna say this is how it is, and at least you know how it is. It's gonna be nothing other than that. So I appreciate her for that. And in her situation, the deal was around Rufus about the whole malfeasance piece. Tupac Hunter, a black man, Tupac Hunter, was a legislator with up in Lansing for Northwest Detroit. He's actually my senator, and he put together the language.
Mm-hmm. And Tupac, who has served in that particular seat, started his political career, I would say maybe 10 to maybe 15 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I think he worked with then Congresswoman Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick, and was in her office and was one of the liaisons for her office. I think we're having a little technical difficulty on Reggie's Reggie's end, but as he did say, Justin and Joanne, um, Reggie is running for state representative for District 5, and with the new zoning and everything, I guess he has been at this particular district, perhaps has been carved in for him, not for him, but for the people in that district, with a providing the ability and the opportunity to run for office. So just to kind of recap what he said, that it depends on district and what you're running for. Now, I guess, and I would think, with the governor's office, it's probably a lot more entailed and detailed processes that has to occur, especially when you're petitioning to get on the ballot. So, maybe before, we take our next break, we could have somebody on to better explain what the governor's race requires in terms of getting names for the petition. Joanne?
I hope so. I mean, I think that we need to. It's really good that we're learning and the people are learning what it takes. It really
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah.
Like he said, I didn't realize it's for the district state representatives for districts. Like I'm in District 4, so I didn't
Right.
realize that you pay $100, you're on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that. I thought it was like the same process, that there was this vetting process and all of that you had to do to get your name on that ballot for anything, when it comes to whether it's city council, whether it came to anything, mayor, all of that. I thought it was all kind of the same, but I'm understanding now, learn something new every day, that it's not all the exact same.
Yeah.
So hey.
And two, I guess not off subject, but on the political landscape. So about a month ago now, I mean not a month ago, a couple weeks ago, Mayor Mike Duggan, the mayor of Detroit, named a new deputy mayor, which is awesome guy. He was the first assistant chief of the Detroit Police Department, of Todd Bedison, to that seat of deputy mayor, putting him over some great things. So I wanted to ask Reggie, hopefully when he returns, because if you guys recall, last time we had him on, he gave a list of people who to look out for mayor. So
I wish we could rerun that.
Yeah,
I know.
So with this new development of somebody like Deputy Mayor Todd Bedison, who definitely has the community's heart, especially with his time and what he did doing the protests and kneeling with people and doing different things like that, and just being a man of the community and other people. I think that that puts him in, especially if Mike Duggan is not going to run again. I think that puts him in a strong, if he can get the backing, behind that, puts him in a strong
position to be,
to be the next mayor of Detroit.
Right.
And I wonder now, with developments and Chief Craig not being able to make the ballot, would he, if Mike Duggan,
don't say it.
It's over for Chief Craig.
I don't think so.
I think it is. Now with the residents of Detroit, now you could have misguided actions and do something that's not morally correct, but you cannot, in the city of Detroit, tell that's predominantly a Democratic city, come out as a Republican, and then the people of Detroit will embrace you. I don't know, Justin. I could be wrong. I don't know what you think, Joanne. But they're like, oh no, not Ludini.
The only way I can see that is by that time the demographics have changed so drastically in Detroit.
It would have to.
It would
but
yeah, because people were like, what?
I think that did indeed throw a lot of people off. I think that did indeed throw a lot of people off. But there's this thing that says no publicity. There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Bad publicity,
right? All publicity is good publicity.
Right.
Yes.
And with the city of Detroit, it not being people really don't run on the basis I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat. That's really not. It's more so what you're gonna do and what's your vision. You know what I mean? People really ask the mayor of Detroit, are you a Republican or a Democrat? I mean,
normally they don't, but they take it. They assume.
Yes,
they assume that you're going to be a Democrat.
We're talking about 4 years from now, maybe 3.5 now. At this point, it would take, and then it all depends on who's running. He's running against too.
Well, let's see. Reggie.
Yo, I'm sorry, man. My computer shut down. I had to run upstairs to another computer.
That's all right. Now the conversation took a little turn in terms of the former Detroit chief of police possibly running for mayor. Are you able to say anything about that?
For governor?
No. If he doesn't get governor, that he turn around and run for mayor.
Okay. So who's saying that? Who's saying that? Is that just...
So the conversation?
It wasn't me.
It's Justin.
The conversation last time that we talked, you gave some candidates who you felt like would be strong contenders to be mayor, when Duggan was done.
Mhm.
So the question I have for you, with Todd Bedison, former first assistant chief of the Detroit Police Department, community guy, who has, I think, a heart of Detroit, with him now as deputy mayor, would you put him in that category of strong candidates to be the next mayor because if he in a position that he is now? That was the question.
No, Todd Bedison, I know him personally. A very good brother, humble brother, good in the community. Community loves him to death. I think that was a pretty decent move to be put him in that position of deputy mayor. But I don't think mayor's for him. I don't even think, knowing him personally, he would want to be mayor. Police chief is what he's always wanted, and I think he should have the chance to get that. But no, not for mayor, not for Todd. I don't see that at all happening.
So then the
And
conversation furthered to be that, because of everything, if 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 Chief Craig would didn't get in the governor's race, if he came back, what would be the perception of people if he ran for mayor of Detroit now at that point, years down the road?
I just don't see Detroit putting a person in the seat of mayor who once carried a gun and a badge. I don't ever see that happening in no time soon. I don't care who it is. I just don't see it. It's time for a Renaissance type of person. I think this is Mayor Duggan. When I worked for him in his first term as one of the district managers, 2014 to 2018, he said out his mouth he wants to do 3 terms, and he stuck with that. And I think this is his outgoing. This is the last little leg for him. And I actually think, again, that it's going to be some type of Renaissance person just comes out of the. I mean, we probably know of this person, but I don't think we're right now imagining them being the mayor of the city of Detroit. I think it's going to be something like that. I don't think it's going to be a Mary Sheffield. For some reason, I just don't. As much as I love her, I like her, I think she'd be good there, but I don't think. I think it's something totally different that's getting ready to happen after this first white mayor we've had in 40 years. I think it's going to be something very significant right here, something different.
Well, Reggie, I wanted to um, in switching gears, the seriousness that we have faced over the past 6 months, over the past certain number of years, in terms of the children being killed and slaughtered, adults being killed and slaughtered. And let me, before I go any further, Reggie has a program. Give us the name of your
Ceasefire Youth Initiative.
Your initiative, yes.
Yeah, Ceasefire Youth Initiative, a nonprofit organization. Yeah.
Right. So Reggie has a rich history and a personal history why this whole organization has come together. But with these last shootings, and here the recent one just this yesterday with the 11-year-old girl, child, and this gun violence, how can this whole narrative change?
Well, as you know it, we don't have to keep saying it. Gun violence is now at epidemic levels. Last year, we lost in this country more than 45,000 lives lost as a result of gun violence last year. That was the most in 40 years. The most in 40 years last year. This year will be somewhere very close to that if we don't put the right people in place to start getting these gun laws right. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. The damn Republicans, y'all wake up. How can an 18-year-old boy, and okay, this is Texas. We understand Texas is totally different than everywhere else, and they got more guns down there than anywhere. But okay, I'm turning 18, so I'm gonna walk in a gun store and I'm gonna buy 2 assault rifles. I'm gonna buy 375 rounds of bullets, and I'm gonna get some armor so that if somebody shoots me, I won't get hurt. There should immediately be red flags. They should stop that sale without the law saying that you should stop the sale. You shouldn't do the sale. If I had a store, I'm selling guns and bullets, and an 18-year-old came in there, I looked at his ID and said he just turned 18 yesterday, and he's up in here buying up all these guns and bullets. I'm saying, hold on, bro.
Red flag.
Okay, you don't need to tell me no red. That's an automatic red flag. But it doesn't have to be.
I don't think the law to say, but we have to put the law together. In Michigan, it should state that a person can't come, and my piece called the bullet bill. I put together as Wayne County Commissioner, the bullet bill. It was a resolution, but it was the bullet bill. It gained national attention. I got death threats from NRA. I got death threats, actually international death threats. It was crazy. And Detroit City Council voted unanimously in support of the bullet bill. So the bullet bill just talked about wrapping laws around the ammunition as opposed to the actual gun itself.
Right.
Because the bullet took my baby brother's life. It wasn't the gun, it was the bullet. So the bullet bill talks about putting taxes on the ammunition, so you can do a number of things with that. One, we could start to teach kids at early ages, kindergarten and first grade, about their Second Amendment right, how important that actually is, and how you should use a gun to protect your family and not to settle conflicts or to shoot your friends up in the school. If they start to learn this at a young age, they'd be more, when they become adolescent, they're more apt to really understand about a gun, to be able to have a gun and use it for what it's supposed to be used for. The bullet bill also talked about when you go make a purchase of ammunition, you can't, when you get to a certain amount, you stop. It's a limit about the amount of bullets that you can buy at one time. It talked about a lot of different things, but the bullet bill was huge. Everybody was talking about that around the country, and that's something I would like to take up to Lansing with me to make that state law, because we need that here in Michigan.
Yes. Yes.
So I know one of your platforms, Reggie, is the mental illness. Now, how closely associated is mental illness and this high volume of mass murders that are going on?
So, I mean, Joanne, you okay? It's really common sense. Okay, we all have some form of mental illness, but if we have like major situations, depression, and people don't know about it, anxiety that's to a crazy level, and other things. If I have this abstract level of mental health issues, and then I have access to a semi-automatic handgun,
Crazy.
Miss Joanne, does that do those two things go together well?
They don't go together at all. No, you should not. If you have, especially if it's recorded, if it's not, and I guess, and for me, I know they try to say a lot of this is mental illness, and we know that there's a lot of mental illness out there, but some of this is just, for me, some of this is just truly demon possession.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference for me between demon possession and mental illness.
That's true.
But the mental illness can contribute, and then you took away all the mental health facilities, So
right.
So how can these people get help? So it's like this snowball of just nobody's doing anything. So you're saying they have mental illness, but what are you putting in place, to help these people with the mental illness?
Right. And Joanne, I know you're probably referring to the whole Buffalo situation, where you got this guy went to target Black people, and basically what he write on the gun, you want your reparations, here's your reparations, before he shot the gun or whatever.
To me, that's demon possession.
That's hate. But at the same time, Joanne, hate, I think that type of thing is a mental illness in itself. If you have an issue with another group of people because they don't look like you, and you classify them something less than you, and you want to go and take their lives, that's the mind messed up right there. So it does all go back to mental health, I believe.
It does. It really does. It does. But for me, some of this it all falls under mental illness. But some of it is, when I look at it, some of it is this is truly demon possession. This is not, when you look in the Bible and you see the demon, there's nothing new under the sun, but you see the demons that had to be cast out of folks. You see and it's like, Lord have mercy, help us.
Right.
Help us.
So, Reggie, I got a question for you. So you're running for district representative in District 5. Can you educate our audience and let us know what is the job of a state rep? Not only what is the job of a state rep, but what type of things should we be calling, and what should be the expectation? Because I assume many people have state reps, don't know who they are, and don't know how to hold them accountable. So speak to that.
Yeah. So Justin, basically, one example of what the legislative branch of government with the state of Michigan is responsible for are things like car insurance, health insurance, and gun laws. Gun laws are on the state and federal level. So when I was Wayne County Commissioner, I put together the bullet bill, but it was only a resolution. It wasn't a real bill to become law, because you can't make law in the state of Michigan on the county level. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason I want to go up to Lansing as your state representative. So I represent my district, which includes the parts of Northwest Detroit and some other places. But what happens is, in government, back to government 101, you've got the three branches of government. You have the executive branch of government, or the CEO of that municipality, which would be the city of Detroit, the state of Michigan, or the United States government down in Washington, D.C. The executive is the president, the governor, the mayor, the county executive. They are in the position of the CEO or the executive. They're in charge of the day-to-day operation of, like Mayor Duggan, the city government, trash pickup, the parks and rec, in all the different departments. That's the mayor's responsibility to make those decisions every day. He's the CEO of this business or this municipality called the city of Detroit. So in Lansing, same way. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, she's the CEO of the state of Michigan. So she operates the day-to-day, everything, fixing the roads that she keeps talking about, all of that. That's her job. And then you have the legislative branches of government, and down in D.C., the U.S. Senate, U.S. Congress. They legislate or they make law. So the executive carries it out, the law. The legislators make the law. And then you have the judicial branch that interprets the law. So when something happens, man shot a guy or somebody, whatever happens, you go to the courts, and the judge, the judicial branch, will interpret it for you, let you know this is what you did. Now we're gonna bring the prosecutor to see how much time you gotta do, et cetera, et cetera. So those are the three branches of government: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. And again, I want to be a part of the legislative branch of state government so that I can sit with my colleagues and say, hey, this is what we got going on in this country, in case you don't know. We got more than 45,000 lives lost last year. You remember Oxford? You know about Grand Rapids, where white police officer shot a black unarmed black man in the back of his head. And city of Detroit, 300 to 400 murders every year. These are great examples of gun violence right here in the state of Michigan. Now, what are we gonna do about it? I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do about it. And I talk to my constituents right now in the new State House District 5, and I let them know I am ready, more than ready, to take on the responsibility of the leadership over this anti-gun violence movement that we are now all a part of organically. Everybody, Michigan, everywhere.
Yes.
So I want to take on that leadership, and if I have to, we're gonna go down to the president's door, knock on his door, like, Mr. President, I'm sorry to tell you this, we're about to force your hand to declare a national emergency, a state of emergency on gun violence, and you need to bring in all your troops, all the resources that you have, financially speaking, to programs like ceasefire, whatever it is that we got to do. Let's start to do it. Bring your think tanks, bring your task force, everything. Let's go into Chicago, Baltimore, East St. Louis, Detroit, all these cities where we got all these issues, and let's bring everybody together, all the community leaders there, all the police chiefs, everybody, and let's sit at the table and let's figure this thing out now, because we don't have time. What y'all doing is y'all playing with our lives now. Exactly. Now you're playing with our lives.
Amen.
We go ahead and turn on TV tomorrow morning, and there's 21 more people dead in the school or wherever, somewhere. They're playing with, the Republicans are playing with our lives, and they need to stop today, for real.
Amen.
So Reggie, what is this deal with so many, especially Black people, that have adopted this notion that, well, it's nothing we can do about it? I don't understand, and maybe you can shed that light. Why are so many in that mindset?
Well, that's the apathetic people that just feel, ain't nothing gonna happen anyway, no matter what everything keeps happening. We say we're gonna do this. I'm the governor. Whatever. Nothing ever happens. So they're just apathetic. I get that. But the real people who are saying we ain't gonna do nothing are the ones who ain't doing nothing. That's the Republicans. Look at up in Lansing. we're getting ready to go on break last week, and then the situation happened in Texas.
Right.
They weren't on break yet. Texas happened. The Democrats said, hey, boom, they put up some of those laws, those bills they had about gun violence, tighten things up. And they said, look, we still got 2 days before our break. Let's sit down and go over this. Republicans said, no, we ain't dealing with none of
Yes,
that.
they
We're
did.
going on break. They went on break a day early and said, bye-bye.
We don't have
So
time.
that's where the
Sure
issue
did.
is the damn Republicans who don't care about changing these gun laws. That's the problem, bro.
It's so sad. Another one of your platforms, you kind of touched on the community economic development and that's for your District 5. First of all, tell us what District 5 is, where your District 5
right. So you guys know they just did a big redistricting thing, and they're pretty much saying in layman's terms, they're saying they don't want people to look like us four right here representing other people that look like us in Lansing. That's what they're saying. So what they did was, you know, I was a Wayne County commissioner. I was in Detroit, Wayne County, right here where my people are. Now they say, okay, we're going to follow the population, whatever. So they stretched this out for the first time in 100 years. Now, so y'all ever heard of a city called Birmingham?
Yeah.
Where every person there had before everybody in that city, before they was even born, they had their college tuition paid for. Y'all know that city?
We know where that is.
So Birmingham is the northern tier of this District 5. You come down south, it's a nice chunk of that. We got like 8 precincts up there, not the whole, but most of the city. You come down, we got a little piece of Beverly Hills, little piece of Berkeley, 3 precincts in Berkeley. Come down, we got a corner, like a house, I think, in Royal Oak. You got Southfield, like just 13 miles of Southfield, and one little area.
Oh my goodness!
And then you got Oak Park. We got a nice chunk of Oak Park, and I'm thankful for that because all my people in Oak Park. And then you got Northwest Detroit, everything below 8 Mile between Southfield and Greenfield, all the way down to I-96. That's in a nutshell. That's pretty much the new State House District 5.
Wow!
So, but that's how they do us. They don't. But I'm running for it, and of course I'm competing against 3 Caucasian women up north of 8 Mile, and the race is on. I'm out here trying to make it happen.
So how do you feel you're gonna do especially with the in that district? And I'm wow, that just throws me. The gun violence, the mental health issues, the community economic development issues in do you think of Birmingham, Royal Oak?
Right.
It's
tough. But I will say this: the one thing, and it's a group of cool, really cool Caucasian women made up of mostly white women, and there was a group called Moms Demand Action. I know the group out of in Ann Arbor, Washington County, but they have a strong branch in Oakland County, and then the Femmes for Dems, another group of white women who are in Bloomfield and Birmingham area, and they're thinking gun violence. So that's one thing that connects us, because you try to find what do you have in common with them? They've got Oxford. Oxford was in Oakland County. They lost 4 lives, and you know about Oxford. So they are in touch with this, and you guys know if it's crack and it's on Joy Road and Dexter, and it stays right there on Joy Road and Dexter, man, they'll be all right. Let it happen. But when the opioid thing came up across in the rural and y'all know what happened. So now they want to make laws and change stuff. But this gun violence has hit home everywhere, and this is my piece. This is where I stand, and they get that in Birmingham, in Detroit, in Oak Park. Everybody understands that.
When it's your babies, when it's your children, when it comes, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Right. That's right.
These are our children.
We're losing our babies.
Yes.
So I know whenever you're running a campaign that it's very costly. Money is needed. What are some of the other things that people can do other than give, or I should say, along with giving to the campaign to make this a reality come November?
Yeah, volunteering your time. I got a list of voters in Birmingham. Maybe I don't know. You want to call? I got their phone numbers. The voters, those who will. The clerk in Birmingham says that this list right here, Reg. These are the folk who have voted 100% of the time the last, I think, 2 years in the primary election. Because a lot of people say they vote, and A lot of them don't. But then even the ones that do, a lot of them vote in the general election in November. That's not my race. My race is literally August 2nd. If I win August 2nd, I'm state rep.
You
Because
state rep, right?
it's still Democrat. Even though we're out up in Birmingham, which used to be Republican years ago, they're 70, 75% Democrat now. So whoever the Republican is that runs against me, if I win in August, the Republican that runs against me, they have no chance. They can't get more than 5% of the vote or 10%. You know what I mean? So it's a Democratic piece of land over here. So
and so your we have posted your website, reggiedavis.com, correct?
That's right. That's the campaign website, and you can see the videos on gun violence. It's got the donate page there. You can donate, click donate, and whatever you got, we can use it because, like you said, it's very expensive getting lawn signs and getting out there doing stuff. But like I said, even volunteerism. You call some numbers. Call these ladies up in Birmingham and talk to them about what you know about Reggie Davis and the gun violence movement, and my brother lost his life, etc. And then try to see if we can get their support. I mean, there's many ways you can help.
Is your phone number?
Yeah, 313-544-6312. That's 544-6312.
Before we close, Justin.
Yeah. So when you take office this November, what type of people would you be looking, to add to your team? How can people say, you know what, not only am I going to vote, but can people work for you? Can people work? What can people do, or what type of people will you be? Because I would assume that every state representative has a staff, correct?
Yeah, but believe it or not, the state rep seats and state senate seats, the budget is not like a city council. City council, if I'm city councilman, I've got $600,000 to $700,000, $600,000 to $800,000 grand, and I can literally hire a team. In Lansing, the state, I think the state rep budget is like 110,000 or something like that. You got to use 5 to 10 to do your mailers to your dispatch to your people. And then you probably have another 100 left to pay 2 people maybe or something like that. So it's not a big budget, but then there's other ways that people can work with you. I mean, we do a lot of stuff in the community. Maybe through the nonprofit, we can put stuff together and folk could work with the Ceasefire Youth Initiative, and we could find some way to give some type of compensation that way. I mean, there's all kind of different ways you can do things, but yeah, it's not a big budget in Lansing.
And volunteers, you really do. We really do.
Yeah, volunteerism is something else. We need to learn how important that is.
Yeah. Well, Reggie, we know that you have your own platform 7 days a week to get out your message, but we want to also just let you know, extend the invitation that you're always welcome here. And as we proceed in the campaign, for you to come back, tell us what our listeners can do to assist to make sure that you become State Representative Reggie Davis in District 5. So you're always welcome.
Yeah, if you know anybody that live in the new State House District 5, which I just outlined for you, tell them to put my lawn sign up. Tell them to give me a call. Maybe they can make some calls for me, or on election day, come out and help us on election day. Need a lot of help that one day on Tuesday, August 2nd. Whatever it is, if you feel the need that you want to do, give us a call and we'll put you straight to work. So 313-544-6312 is my number. 544-6312. Give us a call. Let's save lives together. You know what I mean?
Yes. And come on, everybody. Let's get out and vote. It's time to get off our behinds.
Yes.
Let's get off our butts.
Vote.
Let's get out. It might not be you or your family today, but guess what?
Right.
Tomorrow, you never know. Next week, you never know. So everybody, come on, let's get out and do what we need to do. Let's get out and vote.
That's right, Joanne.
Before you go, Reg, who's on tomorrow with you at your show?
Tomorrow, Sam Riddle. Sam Riddle running for U.S. Congress. He's going to be on with us tomorrow, talking about how he wants to help the poverty, the downtrodden, the folk who are the have-nots. And I love it, his stance on that. So yes, Sam Riddle will be on with us. ReggieRegRadio.com. That's ReggieRegRadio.com. That's the direct way to get to the station. Tomorrow at 9 a.m.
All right.
And again, at 5 p.m. 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Yeah.
Perfect. I know you got to go, and I know you're on the grind doing what you do best, and in helping to change lives and enhance the quality of living for individuals, not only in this Detroit community, but in the metropolitan community. And we thank you for being our special guest today.
Thank you guys, Joanne, Justin, Rufus. I appreciate you guys for calling on me every now and then. I really do. Thanks and blessings to you all.
So good.
All right,
to
have
see
a great
you.
one.
Blessings to you.
All right, y'all take it easy.
All right. Well, now before we all sign out, I got in trouble from a post that I made.
You're always getting in trouble.
I'm always getting in trouble, and I don't know if you all saw it, but I read a post, Justin, from a gospel artist.
I know what you're talking about.
I could barely understand what this gospel artist was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, we should learn to read. I want better for the gospel artists to learn to read. So a lot of people called me on the phone, and some people not email, but DM'd me and said, Rufus, you always start in trouble. This is my whole premise and what I think about it. And I did add that to a response to somebody on the post. Whatever we do, Justin, you're a minister. And Joanne, you sing, and you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner. You know that you can't look crazy in your communication.
True.
There's no way possible that you can look crazy in your communication if it's verbal, if it's written. It has to be correct for people to really believe that you are all what you are. And I know, we love music and gospel music, and we get up and we go to these concerts where we hear people sing, and they can be on fire for the Lord and do so this, but we try to write something, and I'm not talking on a college level. Some of the words were like with, there, store, the wrong synonyms. We have to do better, especially if if that's our thing to represent Christ or God. Right. We can't be raggedy over here and trying to be all this over here.
God is not raggedy.
God is not raggedy. So they told me the next time that I want to pick on the gospel artists, don't. I said, y'all don't tell me what to do. I said, y'all lucky I didn't say who it was.
Right.
But I believe sometimes we do need to check. If I'm incorrect, for me, it's okay. Check me.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I come wrong, if I come incorrect, please check me. Please. I'm not that. I don't feel like I'm that all that.
Me either.
Especially when it comes to basic. Well, maybe English is not basic anymore, but
maybe not
when it comes to basic English.
Rufus, I need you to text me who it was. I need to know. I need to know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring minds want to know. But I'll say this. One thing that gets me about people, I'm not even. I feel like this. People say I can't say that, but everybody has an opinion. Okay. Yes. Everybody has an opinion.
You better not say that.
You better not.
And if you want to, and if your opinion at this moment is that gospel artists or people in general needs to do better, then that's your opinion. And if people don't like it, tell them to unfollow you.
It's just an opinion.
It's just an opinion.
It's not law. He didn't make
not law.
We're not speaking for God. We're not. So I find it hard, and I even when people, you've seen stuff in local news where there was incidents where people at some company called black people monkeys or whatever they can be, whatever. It's like I do think that there's a standard and they don't want you representing their company saying that. But at the end of the day, if that's how you think and how you feel, and you want to put it on your Facebook account, tell me I gotta agree with it.
Right.
Your opinion. But I have an opinion too. Guess what?
I got an opinion too. You know, and
exactly.
we're just in this day and age, man, where everybody is overly sensitive
Overly
about
sensitive.
everything. Like
Yeah.
everything. And it's like ridiculous. It's just so
It
ridiculous.
is.
So ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. Well, listen, we've had a great show today, guys and
Yes.
gals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I know this
Yes.
is Sunday. Everybody is trying to unwind and get ready for the week. Joanne, we have stolen you enough from the. Are you at the reception now?
I'm at the reception. Yes. Look,
Okay.
I'm at the Botanical Gardens in
Mhm.
Huntsville, Alabama. They
No.
gave me a little closet. You see the hangers back there, but they said, "Oh, no problem." So they gave me a closet to come into and do what you got to do. So I'm going to head
Ah.
on back into the reception.
Well,
Okay.
They just started
Joanne.
eating, so we're right on time.
Oh,
Right.
great. And and I'm gonna have to use that, Justin. The jewel,
The jewel.
Joanne. I like that. That's something I would
Oh,
say.
oh.
Justin, you have a great evening. Say hello to your family, your children, and your wife, and tell her we appreciate that she and the family gives
Yes.
you an opportunity, a window to be
Yes.
talking to. We really
Amen.
appreciate that. All
Amen.
right.
Thank you. And thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
And
We'll
pray for
talk
us. We'll be
soon.
traveling back tomorrow. So.
All right, because
Definitely.
I'm gonna need to see you this week. I dare
Yes,
not.
sir. Yes, sir.
I dare not. Have a great one, everybody.
All right.
Peace,
All right.
y'all.
We're so very thankful for everyone who has tuned in today for talking to. We hope something that was said that ignites a certain type of mindset, a certain type of response, a certain type of maybe this is what I can do to better my community, my area, my situation, because we all have the ability to do just that. Until next week, 7:00 p.m. Tell your friends, share, share. Let them know that Talking To is on. And thank you once again for your time and sharing with us on Talking To. Have a great one.